Place.
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in your ass screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scary money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie Bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
Mother trucking monies. Welcome to the Walking Dead Season 2, where there is no sleep for the wicked. I'm your host, Sharpie's Bets, and we have only 3 games to talk about, but I got the man known for making unders great again, Noli Knows, joining us today. How you doing, my guy?
Doing real well, man. Gone the show is my guy Sharpie, watching baseball on the screen. Can't complain. Hopefully we get some winners, talk some numbers, and find some stats. Maybe if you find another winner through the numbers we give you, maybe that might be even better than the plays we give.
Yeah, man, capping the cappers where it's at, bro. And Trey and KP do it to us every freaking day. This show is sponsored by Prize Picks. So if you haven't, go over to Prize Picks, use promo code Pub Sports for your first deposit. They will match you up to 100, minimum of 25. First 2 weeks, too, guys, are the first 2 weeks I have are for projected people to be moved by the books come May. So I've got to stick to those rules. And when we have stuck to those rules, guys, we're winning money, guys. 3-0 yesterday on K-Props, but we're on to today where we are 0-0. So yesterday's over. It don't matter no more, guys. I will give you all the info you need to finalize your own bets or my reasons to stay off. So enough small talk. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you all for coming. Shout out to the best producer in the world, bringing us Doyer backgrounds for us, and let's keep it rolling. You know the drill. Smash that freaking like button, hit the retweet, and make sure you got them notification bells on. On this show, I use FanDuel lines as my lines because they tend to come out first. Then I compare them to what Prize Picks has up. Today's moving day in the MLB, so make sure you guys are checking lineups. With Noli on today, I'm going to talk props. He's going to talk sides and totals. So you're in for a treat, guys, today. So let's talk about the first game on the board. Nationals and Rockies. First pitcher up, we're going to talk about number 37 in the black book, Josiah Gray. Last year, he had a 23.7 K percentage and a 10.2 walk percentage. Morning line was a 5+ minus 106, and it moved up 6 cents. Closing line is 5+ at minus 112. Closing line, once again, on this show is 30 minutes before the show. If you're watching this on recap, yes, the line may have moved. Prize Picks has it at a 4. His hits allowed is at 6. Has the tag been taken off? Yes, it has. He threw 87 pitches on opening day versus the Braves. Last 8 strikeouts averaged. He's only averaging 3.9 strikeouts a game, guys, over his last 8 games. His win percentage to the under over 4.5 his last 10 games is a whopping 20%. Strikeout K per 9, 2022. Lefties, he dominated at a 10.1 with a 9 flat versus the right-handed side. At home, he had a 10 straight K per 9 compared to an 8.8 on the road. And he's not just on the road, he's in freaking Colorado. Lefty righties batting average against. Lefties hit him for 265. Righties only hit 221. Homie had a 249 batting average against, where on the road a 230. He was the guy I was looking at today, guys. One of my rules pitching in Colorado is you need to show me you can strike people out in Colorado before I can bet you. And if you don't know, you should know Josiah Gray was one of the top pitching prospects in the Dodgers organization and one of the key pieces in the Trey Turner trade. So, yeah, he's pitched in Colorado. Had to go back a few years, but like I said, I just need to see it once because the air's thin. And some pitches just don't break the way you want it to break. So I want you to pitch in it before I could then back you. He's then showed me he has pitched in Colorado. And if you really want to look at it, it was within a 10-day period with seeing him the same time, and he actually pitched well that time. So he's shown he can pitch well in Colorado. The lineup has 6 righties and 3 lefties. I needed more lefties to play as K-prop, so I just had to let it go. It's still over or nothing with Gray right now because the Nationals are going to leave their starting pitchers out there to eat up innings, whether they're getting hit, whether they're not. They're going to be out there for their 90 pitches plus. They have to eat up innings. They're the Nationals. They may be one of the worst teams in baseball. We've seen it already this year. The Nats pitchers are going 90 plus no matter what. So take advantage, just not for me today. Before we get into the other prop side of this matchup, let's get Noli's take on this game.
Yeah, interesting matchup. You talk about strikeout props with Gray here. I mean, you look at the Rockies, they are about the 4th lowest team. I mean, or 4th highest teams in strikeouts, 10 Ks per game right now. So maybe an interesting spot, but when you looked at what he's done against them, hasn't been able to eclipse more than 4 strikeouts against them each time against this team. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm not the guy for that. I'm the guy here for sides and totals like you talked about. Josiah Gray last time out, the long ball was the big issue going against the Atlanta Braves, gave up 3 home runs in that one. And I'm actually expecting a much better start here. We look at the Colorado Rockies, they're 22nd in runs produced here week in. They're 26th. I talked about them not striking out much, but really only a couple guys really hitting the ball. I mean, CJ Cron and Blackmon. And CJ Cron, if you look at it, yeah, he's hitting 304, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, but he's gone 0 of 12 the last 3 games, facing much deeper pitching. And I think he's going to struggle here. He's 1 of 9 against Josiah Gray in his career, 2 strikeouts. I was actually going to maybe look at CJ Cron under total bases, 1.5 at -120. I think he continues to struggle, especially against Josiah Gray. I know it's in Colorado, but we do get lower temperatures, 50 degrees, wind blowing slightly in, only 18% humidity, meaning the ball will not travel. Humidity allows the ball to travel, vice versa, it will not. So I think the air being where it's at and the temperature, I think Josiah is actually going to have a nice start. I look on the other side, Kyle Freeland being the first guy in Colorado's history to start 3 straight home openers for this ball club, and a guy that's from Colorado, a hometown kid. So this is a big deal for him and a big spot for him. Going against Nationals, you talked about it, really not hitting the ball. 30th in home runs, only 2 home runs produced so far. 28th in total runs, 17 runs, 2 or fewer in 4 of their games. 4 of 6 games, 2 or fewer runs. Not getting it done, but they do not strike out. 4th lowest K percentage, 6.83 Ks per game. So the kids are putting the ball in play, but even when they had an offensive production, 6 runs, they had 16 hits, 13 singles. So really not a team that's getting on base a lot, not a lot of slugging. So that's really a low probability of runs. And I'm actually expecting Freeland to actually go out and actually have a decent day. The 6 here hanging in the first 5 is tempting for me. I pulled the trigger. First 5 under 6 for me here in this game.
Oh, we actually got a bet. When I gave him these games last night, I was like, bro, they're the only ones. You know, if you got to lean, you got to lean. If you got to bet, you got to bet. And the fact that you're even leading CJ Cron with how much me and you talk baseball, like you're high on him this year. You're really high on that guy. And the fact that you're looking at fading him, woo, big balls, bro. Big balls.
I just seen him struggle against it. I saw a couple at bats him against Gray going back to last year, and something that I just didn't really like. Just a couple things I really didn't like, and he's struggling right now. 0 of 12. He has good approach. He's looked a lot better last 2 seasons. A much different batting stance, but today I think 1.5 is a little too generous for him.
Man, let's talk about Kyle Freeland's prop right quick. He's obviously not in the black book. Kyle Freeland, 22. He had a 17.1 K percentage and a 6.9 walk percentage. His opening line was 4+ strikeouts at -110, and he lost 6 cents in juice, closing at a -104. Prize Picks has him at a 3.5, and his pitching outs is at 17.5. Projected pitches and has the tag been taken off? Tag for me is not all the way off. He only did throw 74 innings on opening day versus the Padres, but he did go 6 strong innings. So I have to think he's built up for that 90 pitches or so, but no more than 100. Last 8 game strikeouts average is 4.1. His win percentage to the under over 3.5 last 10 games is actually 60%. Lineup is 7 righties and 2 lefties. Strikeout K per 9 and 22. Yuck. 6.1 strikeouts per 9 at home compared to 7.4 on the road, where he did strike out lefties at an 8.2 K per 9 compared to righties at 6.4. Batting averages against lefties hit 315, righties hit a 271. Home 303, road 257 batting average against. We get a guy not in my book, but I'll break him down, but can't bet his K prop either way because I have rules. And one of those rules is I don't bet on guys not in the book. The other rule is I don't bet on guys with 8K per 9 or less. And Freeland has a strikeout per 9 of a 6.75. So I just don't look for when guys are going to have a breakout game. I look for when dominant pitchers are going to dominate. So a lot of people will talk about how Freeland has a 6 ERA at home last year and a 3+ on the road, guys. But like I say all the time, look at the back of the baseball card. Go back a few years back. In 2021, it was flipped to having him a better ERA at home. And then if you want to go back to 22, he was dead even each way. So what I'm getting at is don't put too much into his ERA in Colorado. Colorado is Colorado, and shit can happen there. I actually leaned to his over pitching outs on Prize Pick 17.5, but I'm not going to pull the trigger. I was hesitant on taking Washington first 5 at some plus money, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. I need to see Gray have a good game, and I actually didn't even bet Josiah Gray last year strikeout props. Quick little breakdown on Josiah Gray. I was just anti him after we traded him. I never really liked him. I like his stuff. To me, it just was like, ugh, wasn't as good as they projected him or whatever, bro. He's a kid, guys, at the end of the day. And Noli last year goes, hey, Sharpie, he's playing Miami, bro. He's gonna freaking hit it today. It's gonna be my K prop, bro. This is my K prop today. And I'm like, all right, bro, I got you. I got you. Motherfucker had like 9 that day, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ. So definitely started paying a little bit more attention to Josiah Gray. He's normally been better pre All-Star break than post, but he did not look good his first game. But then again, guys, it's like I said about Hunter Gladys. Like, he faced a team that can rake. The Braves can freaking rake. It is what it is. Life's a bitch and you marry one, guys. This right here is setting up for Josiah and Freeland to go out and deal, and I do like your first 5 under. Next game up is Braves and Padres. Now we got the pitching matchup of the day, and it will be on the MLB Network for those looking to watch it. But before I get into the pitching props, let's start this game off with Noli and let him break it down before I get into strikeout props.
Yeah, no doubt. Blake Snell came out last time out, 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks, 1 walk. Big thing for him, always having trouble getting past the 5th inning. And when I look at those numbers, high pitch count, but only 1 walk with 9 Ks, he's hunting the strikeout. That's obviously what he tries to do, and it gets him into trouble. But overall, the 3 earned runs, I mean, we're going to be judging him on a pitch that wasn't even made by him. There's a 2-run home run given up by Nabil Chrismat on the first batter of the inning. So if the bullpen comes in and shuts him down, we're talking differently and having a different perspective on Blake Snell going into this game. Overall, he hasn't faced this Braves team really much. He has faced a few of these guys in other spots, but I think Blake Snell should have a good start, but you look at these Atlanta Braves, they're scary. 6th in batting average, 280 batting average, 10th in runs, 5th in home runs, and they can pitch. 2.38 ERA overall as a team. This team is scary. They do strike out right about middle of the pack, 8.3 per game. So that's something I see with this Braves team. How is Snell going to be able to hold up? This is not a team that's swinging and missing as much as they have in the past. So are they going to be able to hit him? I've got question marks with Blake Snell. The guy, he can be lights out, and it can be that when he faces Strider. Strider, on the other hand, he came out and completely dominated. He looks the part. This is a guy that takes a lot of care into his craft, a guy that studies the craft. He talked about spin rate in college, so this is a guy that's been working for a long time. Did face the Padres twice out of the bullpen last year. Went 1 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and then 3 2/3, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 5 total strikeouts. So he's got 15 total at bats against these Padres. That's a huge disadvantage for the Padres, seeing Spencer Strider really for the first time overall. So I think it's going to be a tough time for the San Diego bats. I just really right now, I just don't know what to expect from Blake Snell. I think he pitched well as a guy that I backed in the past, but going against this team is going to be a little bit different. One guy that I will focus on, a guy that I did bet blindly at times, along with Rafael Devers when he was with the Boston Red Sox, that's Xander Bogaerts. Xander Bogaerts has batted .409, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, 857 slugging. The guy has yet to go hitless. The guy has only gone 1 game to where he didn't go over 1.5 total bases. I looked it up today, and they have him at over half a total bases at -140. So that's probably the way I'm going to be attacking this game. Xander Bogaerts, if he doesn't get to Strider, he'll get to the pin. This guy's seeing the ball real well.
Man, Xander Bogaerts, Devers was a train last year, bro. That was you put me on the Devers blind tail, bro. We at 27 out of 30 games, just yop. Just, but he needed Martinez in the lineup with him. He needed that backup, man. But yeah, let's talk about the best pitchers on the freaking board today, guys. Number in the black book, Spencer Strider is 8, aka Mustache Man. 38.3 K percentage and an 8.5 walk percentage. Opened up last night at a -137.5. Morning line was a 8.5 at +124, and then dropped back down right before the show. He's now -120 at 7.5. Price Picks also has him at a 7.5, whereas hits allowed are at 3.5. Has the tag been taken off? Yes, it has. Throwing 96 pitches in his first start versus the Nationals. Last 8 game strikeout average is 9.1. Win percentage to the under/over 8.5. The last 10 games is 60%. 7.5 is still the same at 60%. Projected lineups: 5 righties and 4 lefties. Strikeout K per 9 in 2022. He had a 14.6 K per 9 at home, an elite 13 on the road. Lefties, he had a 12 K per 9, while righties he put down at a 16 K per 9. Batting average in 22 against. Lefties hit him at a 202, where righties hit him for a $188. Home road split, he was a $180 each way. Take it how you want it. This man is elite, and like Noli was saying, like, he studies his craft. I get a lot of the verbiage I get from this man next to me. I speak baseball to him on the daily, and yeah, this man right here, Noli likes to talk about pitchers and hurlers, and I've brought that up on this show. This guy is a hurler who could pitch. So you rarely get 2 and 2 together, where you got the other guy, Blake Snell, we'll talk about, who is a hurler. The guy, like he said, he hunts for them strikeouts. So Spencer Strider, he doesn't really hunt for him. He just got that nasty freaking shit, bro. And so let's talk about him. There's been different lines moving up and down, 7.5, 8.5, depending on where you got in and what book. Either way, this man is the man, and he may be the new Jake DeGrom, guys, if he can stay healthy. His absurd 38.3 K percentage last season would have led the league if he qualified for innings pitched. And I've talked about it, how I need to stay off unless the line's off until April 13th. Excuse me, when the numbers I look for start to form. And this number right here, to me, is what I think it should be, guys. Like 7.5. That's right where I have him at, where I thought the book should have put him at. And now I get deeper into it. He didn't really play the Padres in a starting role. So how did he fare versus the NL West last year? He was 2 wins, 3 losses to the over 7.5. And the only way I can pull the trigger on Strider tonight is if I do get 5 righties, I can think about it. 6 righties is a must play to me, guys. Like we said, he does average a 16 K per 9 versus the right-handed side, and that shit is real. And the boot guy, The man's been throwing it. He only threw his changeup 5% last year. He was working on it in the middle of the season. He incorporated into the spring, and last week he had some crazy swings and misses with that changeup, guys. So that will help with this already great 12K per 9 versus the left-handed side. The Padres do have a few guys, though, that can run up a pitch count. But the question you need to answer that I'm going to have to ponder some more is 7.5 off. Would they give DeGrom 7.5 at -120 on a full pitch count? And to me, the quick answer is no. But I can't be quick to pull the trigger. So pondering and lineups a come. Now I get to talk about Blake Snell. Blake Snell's 2022. Number 4 in the black book. 7+ opened up last night at a -102. His closing line was at a -112. 6.5 on Prize Picks, and his hits allowed is at 4.5. Tag is off after throwing 93 pitches in his first start versus the Rockies. His last 8-game strikeout average is at 7.8. Win percentage to the under over 6.5, where they have him at the last 10 games, is a 70%. Projected lineup is 6 righties, 3 lefties. Strikeout K per 9 2022. I freaking didn't write him down because I was stoned, so we're going to read him off the book, straight from the book. I already know where he's at because I look at him a lot. Old Snowbell. Old Snowbell. All right, Blake Snell, guys, 2022 versus lefties, K per 9, 11. Righties, 12.3. Average the same on the road, 12K per 9s. So, yeah, lefties hit 233s, righties hit a 213. 227 batting average against and a 198 batting average against on the road. So this guy was that dude last year, except for some of the times that I bet on him. So let's talk about it. The love-hate relationship between me and Blake Snell is real. This man has the upside of Cy Young and can then just shit the bed on you guys at the end of the day. So, woo! Get in line and enjoy the Blake Snell train, guys, because we getting on Blake Snell tonight. My role right now is betting lines that are off, and to me, this is off. Blake Snell is averaging 7.8 strikeouts a game over his last 8 games, and we're getting at it at a 70% win percentage, where this line should be a 7.5, in my opinion. Now, we get the Braves, who've been smashing lefties this year, and I know Noli says their swing and miss hasn't been there, but when you break it down lefty righties, it has. So they have been swinging missing versus the lefties, and this lefty has that swing and miss in his arsenal, guys. That's what he looks for. So far on the year, Matz and Gore has hit their K props over versus the Braves. The only lefty not to hit it being named Patrick Corbin, and this guy hasn't hit more than 6 strikeouts since July 22nd of last year. Is there a chance he gets cracked by this team? Of course. But good pitching beats good hitting any day of the week. And I talked about the ace effect yesterday. If Snell gets an easy 1, 2, 3 inning, guys, I don't care if I get a strikeout in the first inning. I just want out, 1, 2, 3, pitch count under 18. This game will be a 2-hour game because we know what we're getting on the other side. And if Snell starts it off that way, this line is going to get in line and these guys are going to start humming, guys. So even when the Braves have cracked these guys, these two lefties already have hit their K props. And the one lefty that is in my book, which is Mackenzie Gore, he actually pitched really well versus this team, going 5 innings, allowing 1 run, getting 6 strikeouts. So like I said, good pitching beats good hitting. So I am on Blake Snell over 6.5. Strikeouts tonight at -112. Like I said, I believe this line's off. And I think we're getting value here. Prize Picks is offering Strider and Snell combined at 14 strikeouts, guys. So if you're into the Prize Picks, if you have Prize Picks, I think that's a must play today. Each player can carry this on his own. And if both is on, it's an easy over, but I can easily see 9 and 6 at worst from each side of this game. So I love the combined part right here with these two studs on the mound. Last game of the night happens to be our boys in blue, Dodgers at the D-backs. And we're going to do this game like the first. I'll break down the first pitcher's prop, then we'll get Noli's opinion on the game, and then I'll finish with Dustin May's pitching prop. So it's time for what?
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
Yeah, bro. If you don't get excited when you hear that voice, get off my screen right now. Dustin May, 2022, 27.2 K percentage with a 7.3 walk percentage. Number 18 in the black book. Opening line 6+ at +108. Morning line was 5+ at minus 140, and then he closed out right before the show 5+ minus 166. He is minus 130 on the offshores, so make sure you shop this one if you're looking at the over or the under. Price picks, they have him at a straight 5. His hits allowed is at a 4.5. Projected pitches, and has the tag been taken off? Sure as hell has. 84 pitches last game out versus these same D-backs, going 7 strong innings. Last 8-game strikeout average is at 6.8 strikeouts a game. His win percentage to the under over 4.5 over his last 10 is at 40%. Projected lineup. Oh God, these guys are projecting again 7 lefties and 2 righties, guys, and we're gonna talk about that. Strikeout K per 9, we had to combine his 2021 with 2022 because not enough innings last year coming back from Tommy John. 13 K per 9 at home, while a 10.1 on the road. Lefties, he dominated with a 14 K per 9, while righties, a nice, cool little strikeout per inning. No batting averages against because, like I said, I've had to combine 2 of those just to get his strikeout K per 9s. This one right here I'm struggling with. I have a theory I've seen happen a lot, and it keeps me off of guys the second time of a back-to-back. I've talked about it before. If a guy strikes out a bunch the first on a back-to-back, you should probably leave the second one alone because they're professional hitters. And they'll come out with a different game plan and just swing at the first pitch, and they're not going to strike out 2 times in a row like they did the time before. Well, this is the opposite. He only had 4 in a dominant game, so to me, the play is still over. It opened at 5.5 plus money and dropped down to 4.5 minus 140, and that's still a little steep for me. It's the juice that comes down to what I think is bettable in this situation. If I get in, or if I just need to learn a lesson without losing any money. I preach. You need to take in the juice when betting these K props, and what's the probability of it hitting? Now we have a back-to-back with the D-backs, and last year May had 2 back-to-backs. His strikeouts went down in both games, and I understand why they went down in both games. Like I said, you strike out 9 the first game, you're probably not going to do it again. And that's exactly what happened. He punched out 9 Marlins when he should have. Second time through, he only punched out 4. So I don't fault you for that. Then the second game was 5 strikeouts and it dropped down to 3. But then I get that too. It was versus a Padres team last year who didn't strike out, ran up people's pitch counts, and they put the ball in play. So to me, I'm trying not to feed myself in the story. I think I actually see what's going on here. So he did end up getting hit a little worse in each game. Hard versus the Padres in a back-to-back who were elite last year. And he dominated the Marlins still. Did give up 2 runs in the second time, but 0 in the first. So he did give up a couple more. He was coming back from Tommy John last year, guys. So I don't even want to put too much into those games. He is not the Dustin May of last year. All the reports and what I seen in game 1 is he's back. So the lean is over 4.5 strikeouts. I may end up just being a lean. I got to try to attack Kelly some way, somehow. And yeah, I just haven't pulled the trigger, guys. Like, I'm fighting with myself. I just explained to you what I'm fighting with myself. I've seen it 100 times when they strike out a bunch. Now it's got to go back the other way. I've seen it the other way too when we'll talk about Kelly, guys. So when you don't strike out a lot the first time, the second time, there's always opportunity. So I may take Dustin May up to 7, throw like a half unit on it because I think he either gets 7 to 9 or the dude gets 4 again because, yeah, it is a back-to-back, and you've got to be careful when you do bet back-to-backs. My guy, what do you got on this game? Because I've been fighting back and forth, and I may need your take before I put a bet in.
Yeah, you talked about it. Back-to-backs can be difficult at times. Seeing the same guy over and over, you talk about even within the same game, 3rd time around the order, they're going to get hit harder. So back-to-back, now you're going 4th and 5th time, so you'd expect them to get hit. And oftentimes they do, but it depends on the quality of the pitcher. When we're talking about Dustin May and how he's looking this year, I got a couple quotes that I read from Dave Roberts. He talks about the journey that he went through. There's maturity that has to happen. This year, he's a little wiser, a lot stronger, and better than ever. Those are quotes from the manager. So and those are similar things that I've heard from other players within the organization. The guy stuff looks good. He's ready to come and be a big part of this organization, which is expected from him. One thing that you did see out of the last time out, it looked to me as if he was more interested in ground balls than strikeouts, which is honestly, you might not like it, but I love it because that's a team player and that's a good pitcher. The guy that's going to go deep. So, and we're talking about back-to-back scenarios. Which pitcher am I going to trust, or what bats am I going to trust? We're talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're 24th in home runs, only 4 home runs, 28th on base percentage, and 25th in runs. So to say that Dustin May can't have another strong performance, I see it coming. On the other side, Kelly is the big question mark. Kelly ends up putting up some zeros. He does pretty well against the Dodgers. And honestly, it doesn't happen very often. The guy is 0-9 in his career against the Dodgers. He is yet to win a game. Last year in 2022, 0-5 with an 8.25 ERA. Gave up 6 home runs, 22 runs, and a .330 batting average against. So the law of probability is that they're going to get you. He labored through that game with the walks. I believe he had 4 walks in that game. And so yes, he had 4 walks, 4 strikeouts in that game. So honestly, when I look at some of these numbers with these guys, you look at Max Muncy hitting 428 against him, Will Smith hitting 304 against him. And I'm going to emphasize on Will Smith. Will Smith is on fire right now, hitting 421, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, has yet to go hitless in a game, hasn't covered over 1.5 total bases only once all season. Another guy would probably be Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts also has, I believe, 3 home runs against Kelly. So honestly, the laws of averages, we're talking the second time around, I think it's going to be a much tougher ask out of Kelly going against this Dodger lineup, who's first in home runs with 13, second in on-base percentage, second in runs. And then you got to deal with the Dodgers overall, their starting staff and their pen. Overall, third in ERA, 2.17 ERA as a team. So they're getting it done on the pitching staff. So honestly, I think this is a tough ask for Kelly and the Diamondbacks. I like the Dodgers first 5 -0.5. Didn't pull the trigger, but I'm leaning there.
Man, you definitely we're gonna get into that, dude, because me and Noli talk baseball every day. We actually kind of left these games alone knowing that we were gonna be on the show together today. So good content, guys, is always great. So I don't like breaking down the games with somebody that I know I'm gonna be on with. So we actually waited, and he's making me. I'm gonna get on Dodgers -1.5, and I'll explain to you why I am going to fade Kelly and trust me. He explained me why I need to trust May, and let's run through the chat, guys. Why do I gotta ask for 50 damn likes and we got 70 plus live? Y'all want Sharpie to rant, huh? Y'all like Sharpie rants, huh? Well, shout out to the chat. Justin, my dude, first one up in here. Mally Mall, haven't seen you in a minute. What up, dude? JW, Joe Free, my guy. You always a truther. Akbar, the truth. He been here since day one. AOD's been here since day one. Rocco, Real Deal Prime may have been the first person in Pub Sports chat waiting when they first came out with this shit. He always the first one up in here. So let's keep it rolling. Jimmy Gomez, MMA Locker Room. If you ain't checking out this dude's interviews, guys, what are you doing, bro? I mean, the dude's like on a 6-1 thing just on interviews, bro. So just tail the interview right now. What up, Abel? Well, let's keep it going. Viper, my dude. Haven't seen you in a minute. Let's go. Rizza, let's go. Benjamin, we got everybody up in here, guys. So smash the like. And let me tell you about Merrill Kelly. Merrill Kelly, 2022 had a 22.9 K percentage and a 6.5 walk percentage. Number 54 in the black book, 5+ opening line at -106 is now at a -122. Price Picks has him at a 4.5. Hits allowed is at 4.5. The tag is off, but the tag is not off, but it's pretty much close, guys. He started a few games for USA, and in his first Dodger start, he went 74 pitches. So if he is to throw a good game, he should be good for around that 90-95 pitch mark. Last 8 game strikeout average is 5.8. His win percentage to the under over last 10 games at 4.5. He's actually 80%. Projected lineups, 5 righties, 4 lefties. Strikeouts per 9 in 2022, 8.8 at home where he's at today, where it drops off when he's on the road down to a 7K per 9. Lefties is a 7.3 and righties is an 8.7K per 9. Projected lineups and at home, if you're going to go by math in his last 10 games, I'll tell you to play him. So that all says yes to Kelly's K-prop. Now we get Kelly on a back-to-back with the Doyers. Box scores look pretty good. But at the end of the day, he, like Noli said, he had an 8 ERA against last year, guys. So never had a win versus the Dodgers in his career. Not just that, when I look at the book and check his game log, guys, he had 3 back-to-backs last year, 1 versus the Dodgers. And in every game, the second one was brutal for Kelly, averaging 5.2 innings and 7 earned runs with no game less than 5 earned runs. And a -1 strikeout differential to the first game. Now, when looking at it, if he got 5 or less strikeouts, he got more the second time. Now, when he got more than 5 strikeouts, he got less than those the next time. So if you're going to go into math and what this guy's done in history on a back-to-back, he's probably going to hit his strikeouts today, guys, but I don't bet probablys, and you can still hit probablys while getting the living shit kicked out of you. And I expect Kelly to get the living dog shit kicked out of him today. So can I be wrong? Yes, but there's too many things in the numbers that tell me this is not a good spot for this man to be. Noli explained it. It's now the 4th, 5th, and 6th time seeing him. Will Smith, we were talking about at the beginning of the year. Man, should we bet this guy for MVP, bro? He don't hit enough home runs. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah? Hold my fucking beer, Sharpie. Whap! Whap! So the dude's seeing the ball well. He's going with the pitch. He's pulling the pitch if needed. He's going the opposite way when needed. That's a guy I would definitely look at backing for sure tonight. Well, guys, appreciate you all for showing in. 70 plus on a 3-game slate is a killer. We didn't hit 40 yesterday, so we all know y'all showed up for the man Noli knows. So that's the end of the show, guys, and I'd like to thank Noli for showing up with us. I know it's a prop show, but who don't want to hear this man speak baseball? Well, tell these fine young gentlemen where they can find you and what you've been working on.
Mute myself. The mute button is tricky. You got to be careful with that, guys. Yeah, definitely. You can always find me on Twitter at Noli Knows, posting occasional free plays on there as well. We got soccer, baseball. I do a little bit of everything.
Does a little bit of everything. If you don't follow him, you just don't like money, guys, because he does drop out a lot of his free plays and live bets. We don't get enough of Noli Knows, but he's generous not to hold back his action for us when he's on. He gave us under 6 today, guys. That's one of his bets, and this man don't bet change. If you want his plays, hit him up on Twitter, DM him. He has weekly packages, and this dude is kind of good at what he does. You already know this show's sponsored by Prize Picks, so if you haven't, go over there, use that promo code PubSports, and get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25. And to boot, Sharpie gonna get it back for you guys if you use that promo code PubSports. Take a screenshot of the promo, take a screenshot of that sexful deposit, and I'll shoot you my bets for 2 weeks, and we'll get that back, no problemo. For those who can't get Prize Picks in the state they live in, same deal goes for PubSportsRadio.com. Go over there, get yourself $20 worth of pub rub, a 2-pack, and I got you guys. So do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and I got you. This show is Monday through Friday. I give out my bets on the games we cover. I don't hold back a motherfucking thing. But we're on to the weekends, and we're off on the weekends, and I enjoy it. So I appreciate you all that have showed us support. Go use that promo code, guys. It helps us more than you know. I'm Sharpie's Bets. He's Noli Knows, and this show's sponsored by Big Show Picks. Until next time, we be mother trucking pubbing.